everybody. I'm Dr. Elena Sherwood. I'm a relationship coach and a retired couples therapist for 30 years. Glad to have you here. Questions are hard to ask in a situation like this. Oh, we do have. What if he is not consistent with texting and calling? That would really depend on the why of that, Shan. I hope I'm saying your name right. Because if you have a person who isn't very good with his phone, that's one thing. Or he's so busy that he never carries his phone while he's working or through his day. That's another story. If this is important to you, then I would strongly invite you to have a conversation with your partner about that. Because what I have to caution people is to read too much into behaviors or non-behaviors. Because this happens a lot. I see actually a lot of questions like this, is that I'm not just talking love languages. For those of you who might know what love languages are, maybe not, like I am more expressive, I am more words, somebody else is more action, like doer as opposed to wordy. Whether you're good with words or whether you're good with actions, gestures, you need both. You don't have to be good at both, but you have to be versed enough in both. And here is why this is important. We never discard our self-preservation skills. Never. Even the long-term married people who are so secure in their relationships, it doesn't make them stupid. We're not going to be dumb. And if something's kind of a little bit off, we're going to pay attention. When your words match your actions, you're giving them twice as much evidence here. If you're saying one thing, but you're not doing the other, that can come out as a red flag. If you're only showing gestures, but you refuse to talk and you walk away from somebody who has emotions and wants to speak, then you might be causing some heartache, whether you mean to or not. And so when you get versed enough with both the speaking and the doing, that gives your partner lots more concrete information. So is this helping you, Shan? Because this is very important in terms of how we are gauging whether people care or not. Because there are many ways to measure that. But I do believe that my husband's not very wordy. He's so many other things. Oh, I'm glad. He's the math sciences kind of a guy. You could tell, I just about talk for a living. And so he's not big on words too fucking bad. He's all about gestures. He's all about showing things. The guy spent like 8 hours installing those remote start things in my car. But he's not very good at talking, but that's something he's really worked on hard for me. And I'm not as good as gestures. If I tell him I love you, that should be, and you should know the little things I do. But he is bigger on the gestures and I can kind of really suck at it. But once in a while, I go the extra way because I know this will be something that I know he would truly appreciate. And I will only do this for him. We have to be careful in what we're measuring. In the last time I was live, somebody asked about just kind of the communication in the relationship. Like, it doesn't seem like my partner really wants to talk. And some partners don't want to talk. Here's a very important part about communication, though. I can give you all I can on how to, but we also have to know what's happening underneath and within, behind the voice, and what's happening in people's hearts. Because there might be an unwillingness behind it. Some people mentally check out of relationships. It's not because they don't care anymore, but sometimes they do it to protect themselves, or sometimes they also do it to self-sabotage. If you have some unresolved pain, unresolved issues that lead to you to some degree feeling undeserving or unworthy, or maybe you're doubting your ability to be a really good partner to this seemingly absolutely awesome human, you may in fact be sabotaging it with silence or with non-participating in conversations. This is big. This is how complex the human mind and the human psyche is. And so I can give you all the techniques on how to talk, but What I'd really like to do is I would like to ask people individually, do you want to talk? Do you really want to connect to this person? I want to say, hey, what's up? What is stopping you from hearing her or communicating to her? What is going on? I look for the things that are standing in the way. And eventually I get to it. If you put a couple in front of me within the first whatever, I can pretty much get to, when she says this, he does this. Whoa, I don't think she knows. I don't think he knows. And when he does this, she does this, or the other way around. It's like, wow, she reaches out, he pulls away. But then you turn around and then he reaches out and then she pulls away. Or they're both pulling away and it's very hard for them to kind of come together. It's like there's always going to be this little, distance between us. So you really have to watch for that distance. You have to watch for that emotional distance and why it is there. The hard part sometimes is just acknowledging that that distance is there. It doesn't mean the relationship is over. It doesn't mean you want out. It doesn't mean your partner wants out. It just means that there's a distance. Doesn't mean it's not fixable. It is. That was a very common question I got. What if we're not fixable? And my question back is, do you both want to fix it? Yes. Equally. Both committed to fix it? Yes. We're good. You keep showing up. You keep answering the questions. You keep looking and digging deep. You'll get to it. Because if you really want it that much, you're going to get it. And that's the only thing you need. And so that's what it is, right? Because it's that distance. There, we do this, right? We do this. Put a little arm out because it's scary. Relationships are scary. Even when they're really, really good, they're scary. Nobody says, I want to sign up for a lifetime of heartache here and there, a lifetime of worry, whether or not he's going to commit or she's going to be my thing or they're going to be my person. Nobody ever wants that. And so this is why we have a lot of this coming and going into barriers. What we forget is the barriers are what break people. It's not the words that are said that break a relationship. It's the words that aren't. Silent treatment is very painful. Anybody doing the silent treatment, using the silent treatment, it's painful for both, no matter what they say. It's painful for the one who's using it, and it's painful the one on the other side who's being locked out. So, if it were up to me, I'm trying very, very hard to get rid of the silent treatment, and I'm trying to replace it with other things. Ugly truths are better than the cruelty of silence. I would rather hear words of emotion and frustration and anger from my partner than get silence. Emotion, anger, I can work with that. I can figure out, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? Where can we fix this? Where can we whatever? Silence, I got nothing. Silence, I'm filling in the blanks. Oh, I wonder it's because I did this. Oh, I wonder it's because I didn't do. Oh, I've got a whole army of things in my head and what I think it is, and I'm going to keep trying. Was it this? Was it because I did it? Was it that? Whoa, that's not helpful. So silent treatment doesn't work. We start telling, the silence is where we start telling yourself stories that are most likely untrue. Both of you, right? The people who are silenced and the people who are silent. You're both filling in your own blanks. You're both adding things that you think are there that may or may not be there. You don't know. Yeah. We start telling ourselves stories when there's silent treatment. Both. The person who is silent is spinning, even if they'll pretend they're not. And the person who is excluded is suffering. Nobody wins with silent treatment. If you need a mental space, you call it a mental space. You don't huff away and leave the person hanging. You can say, I am so angry right now. Give me like 20 minutes. Give me like an hour and we're coming back and we're talking about this. But right now, I can't. I need to, the smoke's coming out of my pores. Good. That you're telling them what you need, you're being responsible, and you're being a grown-up by saying, we're going to come back and we're going to fix this. Or we're going to talk about it again until it's fixed. And it might be 4 months from now that it'll get fixed, but we're going to keep showing up, and we're going to keep fixing whatever this is. And we're going to talk about what I want from you, and you're going to tell me what you want from me, and then we're going to figure out what's realistic or not. That's how relationships move forward, not with silence. So if you need a moment to calm down and to gather your thoughts, take it, declare it, ask for it. But don't go from there talking to all of your girlfriends and talking to your buddy and talking to people about how terrible your partner was. And now you've involved everybody else, and they're going to tell you what they think you need to hear or want to hear. And then you got this whole mess. Please, could you repeat book name, please? It is called Greatness Finds a Way. I had one. Greatness Finds a Way on Amazon. If you go up to my Stan store, there's a link there. It's just an Amazon link that I've added onto there, but you can have a look, and there's some really good reviews. It's not about relationships, but that one is about how greatness finds a way. That one. Thank you. Thank you, Lorna. Lorna, I'm going to send you a book. DM me your address, and I'm sending you a book because you're just so awesome, and all of your, I really appreciate your support. And so, but yeah, that one is about my own healing journey that I didn't know I was going to write. Honestly, it was like I started a blog because I had a lot to say, and then I had all of these things in me that I didn't really fit in the blog. And then I knew a friend who was published. I said, who do I talk to? And then she led me on to a mentor. And then we sat down. She says, what do you need? What are you looking for? I said, blah, blah, blah. She said, okay, write it and show it to me and give me a draft. And then I swear to God, within 3 weeks, that book was written. And it took us another month to clean it up and stuff. And then, so yeah. Thank you for your support on that, both of you, Lorna and Yassi. So it's, I say in there, and I'll say this to everybody, you and I, whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are, you and I are more alike than we are different. And what somebody experiences is very similar, even if it's very different to what you're experiencing. So my goal for the book had been to teach people how to heal without telling them how to heal. So instead of telling them what to do, I'm not going to cry. I showed them what I did. I could have preached and said blah, 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 blah. And so I said, I'm going to tell people my story. And I'm pretty sure my story is like everybody's. And if you read the reviews, you'll get that that's exactly, it did what I hoped it would do. And so some of them are so like detailed that there are, spoiler alerts. So be careful with the longer ones might have spoiler alerts, but it doesn't matter because, it's in, I hope that the book draws you enough in that what happens to you happens to some of the other people who read it. They found themselves healing with my own story without knowing it. And I got all kinds of DMs from personal friends, of course, who feel comfortable. Like, I just want to share with you that I thought I was done with all of my issues. And when I read your book, some of them came up and I also put them to rest right there. We're all the same. Everybody's pain. We are all afraid of the same. We are all afraid of the same things. We all hurt over the same things. We are all touched by the same things. Sending my ingratitude to you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.